Hey guys, okay, so here's part 2 of Grandma's Farmhouse, as I think we're probably going to call it. First thing we're going to do in this video is just completely revamp the floor plan. So here's the funny thing about this house, is it is not small, but when I was doing the floor plan, it looked so small, and I kept thinking, how am I possibly going to fit everything I need in here? And then you'll see here in a little bit, I go through and I actually close it off a bunch because I was like, this is way too big. The other thing that sort of happened in here that was really funny is at this point, I was still thinking it was going to be like 3 college students or something like that, who were all living in this old farmhouse and we're going to like reno it and stuff. Like, sort of pseudo-rags to riches kind of situation. And then I saw the appliances that I used and I was like, this is Grandma's house. So this is when the I didn't really like the storyline really came to fruition, and I was like, nah, this is absolutely Grandma's house. And the whole plan sort of hatched itself. And then it gets even better with the bathrooms, which I'm not going to spoil yet, but my favorite bathrooms ever. I usually don't care about the bathrooms. Favorite bathrooms ever. But yeah, so the other thing too is the upstairs bathroom and the final iteration of the kitchen. That footage corrupted. I shoot in small sections, so luckily a lot of times I lose maybe like 10 minutes at a time or something like that. But something was going on with my recorder and I lost, like, there's a lot of kitchen here, but this will change. I'll walk away from it a little bit. When I come back, it'll just be different. And you won't ever see the upstairs bathroom until the screenshots. Well, you'll see it, but I mean, like, you won't see me do it. So just a side note on that one. Sorry about that. Lost the footage there. It is what it is, unfortunately. I do love the appliances though. I love those appliances in every house. I kind of want those in my real life house. I don't know how practical it would be to have appliances from the 50s. My grandma, actually, side note, has a very old stove, and it's like in the wall, and like the stove part pulls out like a drawer and the ovens are above it, and they're all glass doors and they're really tiny, but it's so cool. But you can't get replacement parts for it, so we just sort of like treat it really nicely and hope for the best here. So I don't know how practical it would be to actually have appliances from the 50s. But the whole point of this build, the whole like design aesthetic, if you will, is Grandma's lived here and she lived with Grandpa and they had a really happy life, and then now it's just her, and she's doing a really good job like keeping the house up. She has maybe neighbors who help with that and stuff. So there's no like cracks in the wall, it's not falling apart or anything. But you know, maybe the last time a major reno was done, yeah, see, there's the cut. A major reno was done was in the 50s, which explains the bathrooms, because I tried to do really tacky 50s. I liked it a lot. I like all 3 of these bathrooms a lot. And then like maybe the kitchen was kind of done like in the 70s or something like that, and like she's done little things to reno it, but that kind of thing. Or like the kitchen cabinets are redone in the 70s, you know what I mean? Like, it's been sort of incrementally redone, kind of like my house that I live in now. We have some fantastic 70s wood paneling, and some beautiful 90s like golden oak cabinets, you know. It's a whole mush of styles, but it comes out being really cool. But I had so much fun with these bathrooms. I was ready to abandon this house again. I was over it. I don't know what it is about this house. And then I was like, what if I got to do really ugly bathrooms? And I got so excited and was able to finish the whole house on that momentum. So I love the tackiness of the bathrooms. They make me really happy. Oh yeah, so here is where I had just updated my game, was playing with platforms. So to give you an idea, I started this house before the Windows update, and you just saw proof of the platforms update. So there's been like 3 houses and a cafe in between when I started this build and when I ended it, because I did. I like got through the floor plan and like the shell of the house, and I was like, I'm over it. I'm done. This house is, I'm not feeling it, and I left it for quite a while. I love this living room too. So this is such a self-congratulatory build, because the furnishing, are like, would you do the furnishing? I'm like, I'm not great at that part. I'm not super great at the building part too. I just really enjoy it. But I love, this is such a cozy living room, and it's kind of funny because I'll build it this way, and then I'll end up redoing the floor plan a little bit. And so I just picked the whole thing up and moved it, and then moved it back. Spent too long picking a fireplace though, and I'm still. We have so many fireplaces, but like they're all really specific. Like they're all like really specific use cases. I was gonna say, does that make sense? You can't answer me. It's a YouTube video. They're all really specific use cases. I would love like a good like 90s style inset fireplace, if that makes sense, with like the tile around it. And I would love basically the fireplace with the mirror, I think, but with just like maybe more neutral colors, but like that size where it's like kind of a chunky dude, and then like maybe without the mirror, like this guy, but just like a little bit wider, a little bit chunkier, maybe like he's okay, and like maybe with less intense tile. I don't know. I'm picky about my fireplaces. Yeah. I would love a see-through fireplace too. Side note, this has nothing to do with the house, but like, you know, the fireplaces where like you have the dining room on one side and the living room on the other side. There's a couple of builds where I would have loved to have that. I wonder if I could do that. Like, cause there's that table with the fire in the middle. And then maybe put like a range hood over the top. I don't know. We'll have to play with that. Maybe our next build we'll try that. And we're back to the kitchen. I tried to pick like dated looking appliances, so it's actually like slightly more expensive stuff because I wanted like the kind of washed out weird 70s colors. And then I tried to like really clutter it up. There are still cabinets to cook on though, so there's still plenty of space for your son to do things. And then this living room. Rugs were a problem in this house. Rugs will be a continual problem in this house, but I really like the way this living room turned out. Okay, yeah, here is like, yeah, I was gonna say there's the cut. That's when I realized how big this house was, and I was like, I need to cut this part a little bit. And I think it works out better anyway, because you don't walk right, well you do, but you don't walk right into the dining room. There's some separation, and there's a little hallway to separate the dining room from the living room and stuff. It makes for a cozier little space. And I got to use spandrels more, and I have developed a love of spandrels. I've not really built with them before, and now I use them in every build. Okay, so originally, side note, with all the mismatched chairs, originally I was trying to do another thing from my family member's farmhouse, and that is that they don't have matching dining room chairs. There's just a mishmash. Like, they had a set at one point, but some of them got broken, and they found some at, garage sales and stuff. And so in their formal dining room, there's just not quite enough chairs to go all around the table. And then there's one chair that you don't want to get because I'm fairly convinced it's held together entirely by prayer and well wishes. And so at first I was going to try to do that, and I was going to have like the I don't want this chair, like this is the bad chair to sit in. But it didn't end up working out, so I ended up going with those more farmhousey chairs, which are a little bit more like in my grandma's house. She has actually these really cool rolling chairs, but they have like the little pad on the bottom and stuff, and I thought that was pretty cute. And I used that picture a couple of times, but I wanted it to look like she had like pictures of her grandkids around. This house would have really benefited from nifty knitting. That's not currently in my game. But side note, when we go to reno this in a few months, we will have nifty knitting in our game, and I think the house would benefit from that. Although, I will say, this grandma, like, I'll do the Sims, like the Create a Sim video for them pretty soon. And she's a really cool grandma, so maybe, I mean, knitting's cool, but maybe she doesn't have time to knit. Maybe she's too busy, like, just being awesome. I don't know. But anyway, some of the cute stuff, this house would benefit from that. So when we eventually go through and maybe update this one, because the windows, just staring at them now kind of piss me off, to be honest. Like, I need to redo this. This room is okay, but some of the windows, especially in the bedrooms, too high. And curtains don't fit. Lordy, curtains were the bane of my existence in this house. Good grief above. You'll see it here in a minute. Just, there's a reason not a lot of my builds have curtains anyway. but this house especially. I need to stop messing with wall heights is what I need to stop doing. But I love this room. The living room slash little office nook area. Perfect. For some reason, there are certain shelves in this game that make me just want to decorate like crazy, and this is one of them. I spent a really, a weird amount of time trying to make this shelf look like the proper amount of cluttered. I don't know if I completely nailed it, but these little boxes that I'm putting down now, I do really like these. Fun fact about this room. I left the build for about a week after doing this room, and I came back and for about 30 minutes fought with the fact that every time I put this table down, part of my roof would disappear. I'm not even joking. And it wasn't even over the top of this part of the house. A completely different section of roofing would disappear. I'll be honest, I had to completely reload the game to make that stop happening. And there's not even that many things on the lot. I thought, oh no, I've hit my amount of things in the world limit. But I've never actually seen that happen. Theoretically, the game would just start lagging, right? I did a very long time ago when the game first came out, build a big enough house with so many things in it that I got to the point where I was noticing things disappearing as I was placing new things. I don't know if that was intentional or if that was a bug. But I've seen people put way more stuff down and just have lag, and my computer is not that bad. And so I was so confused and I spent too long fighting with it. I still don't know what caused it. I still don't know why that piece of roof disappeared when that table, because I could put other things down too. It was just that table and that roof did not get along and needed some remediation. It was ridiculous. Also, this room is where the windows are super noticeable. This room and the other Actually, all of the bedrooms. It's really noticeable in the bedrooms. But especially because I'm about to put curtains on them, and I hate the curtains. This room is cute in that it very much looks like a grandma's room. And I liked the idea that she moved to the first floor because stairs were hard. And so her grandbaby and her grandbaby's best friend, see, there's the pink bathroom. Her grandbaby and her grandbaby's best friend like moved into the upstairs, and it gives them kind of like a little retreat hangout area. But yeah, grandma's on the bottom floor because maybe her arthritis was getting to her or something. And it's a very cute room. I think it's a very granny room, but the curtains are awful. This room ended up being really weirdly shaped, but it ended up working out for the Sims hobby. She's gonna be a YouTuber, at least in my game, and so I ended up putting like 2 desks in here and stuff, and it did end up giving her like a nice workspace. Yeah, here's the desk, and a nice sleeping space. But in reality, like if this is real life, I'd probably hate this room because it'd be so hard to lay out. It also came out really dark and gray, which wasn't my intention. I wanted it to be sort of like serene and neutral toned, but it came out a little bit more gray than I intended. But I think it turns out pretty cool. Like I think it's okay, and it's got an ensuite, so I mean, who's to complain? Full disclosure, through all the iterations of this build, this was the room that stayed constant. This was the room, not in this exact pink color or this exact styling, but the huge amount of windows and the amount of pot plants that are about to be in here, that thing was like the whole inspiration for the build. I just like imagined this beautiful cozy place with all of these windows to sit and have lots of natural light with plants. Like I said, it wasn't gonna be pink originally. I think in my head it was probably more of a green color, but I like the pink. It's actually very warm, and we styled it with a lot of teals. We also went with, like, we tried to make a dark colored bedroom set, but then we decided maybe, like, in college she supplemented it with some extra furniture so it's lighter. And there's a black desk, that kind of thing. So it's kind of a hodgepodge of furniture. But yeah, I think this room turned out really cozy, and this is the only room that came out exactly how I imagined it. And I'm really, well, pretty dang close to how I imagined it, and I'm really happy with it, with the exception of the curtains, because Sims 4 curtains. But yeah, this room, this is why there's a bump out on the front, like this sticky outy bit, and this is why there's so many windows and stuff. Is because I wanted like this area right here in this room, and I'm really happy with it. Yeah, so I did a little landscaping in the build portion, like the build video. But at the time, yeah, and I kind of cut a lot of landscaping out because I went back and forth on it quite a bit. But the original landscaping was done when the idea was that it was sort of this like Victorian house that a bunch of like just post-grad students had bought and were gonna try to fix up while they like started life and like, you know, got sort of like Friends style, like the show. For those of you who are familiar, maybe not that many humans in the house, but that kind of thing. So that's still where the landscaping was, but now that it's a grandma and it's a little girl's house, right? Like it's a grandma and her grandbaby and then her grandbaby's best friend, and I think it'd be a cute sitcom on its own anyway, but the landscaping is maybe more intense because grandma likes to deal with it, and the granddaughter's gonna probably get more into it just because how could you not living in a house like this with all those beautiful flowers. So I did put some flower arranging stuff out, really decorated it up. Here's the front of the house. These first screenshots are going to be repeats if you watched the build video, and yes, I saw the staircase peeking through there on that first. That doesn't happen often, and I'm not going to redo the whole house for that. I don't know what caused that, but that's just the staircase peeking through there. But yeah, these are the ones you maybe saw from the build video, and then I think the rest of these are new. Yeah, this one I should have probably gone in the build video, but I didn't see it in time. And here's the front entryway, that ridiculous armadillo that I love so much. It, in my head, seems really fragile though. Here's the dining room. I like the dining room. It feels like a good place. Like I could see myself working there late at night, like on the laptop or something. I know the saucer lights aren't very period accurate, but I like to play in light builds, so I always leave the saucer lights in, because quite frankly, I have really poor eyesight, and I like bright builds. But if they don't meet, like if you'd like a dimmer home, there's a lot of saucer lights though, but if you'd like a dimmer home, you just take those out and it would probably be more correct to maybe the period. And you can also change the like intensity of lights and stuff too. Here's grandma's room, a little eclectic, but I think it's really cool. I hate the curtains, but we'll move on from those. Yeah, but just kind of a little hodgepodge of things. Here's the pink bathroom. I tried to do very sort of 50s style. It's not as poppy as some of the 50s bathrooms. This one's a little more poppy. But yeah, I liked the way this one's my favorite. Look at the tacky blue toilet. I'm so happy. It turned out so good. Here's our YouTuber's room. I did put a little thing in so that you wouldn't stare to bed, and this is my favorite room in the whole house. I would like this room. My room is green, but very similar to this in that it's very kitschy in real life. And then here's just a little landing, a little quiet space to study. So yeah, that's it for our grandma's farmhouse build. I hope you liked it, and I hope you enjoyed watching both parts. Hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are in the world, and I will talk to you soon.